It's free, it's not painful. We'll take a little bit of saliva and we'll generate a DNA profile right here in New York City. We have the technology here in New York City to use any relative.
Mark Desire runs the DNA Missing Persons Lab, and he's asking families of those who disappeared to give a genetic sample.
Their DNA will only go into the missing persons databank. No criminal searches, nothing of that matter.
Their swab could help close cases involving thousands of unidentified remains locally and nationally.
This is the DNA collection kit.
Veronica Cano is a criminalist who cuts the swabs after the DNA sample is taken from relatives.
The skin cells we have to open the skin cells to get the DNA.
The Office of Chief Medical Examiner is holding its 5th Missing Persons Day, which could help the family of Rafael Escobar Jr., who was 19 when he vanished from St. Michael's Home for Children on Staten Island in 1976.
We try so hard to find him on our own. We had given a deposit of $5,000 to someone that claimed to be a private investigator.
Escobar's brother, Freddie, has already offered to give a DNA sample.
Male relatives all share the same DNA in the Y chromosome.
The DNA Missing Persons Unit was especially proud when it was able to identify the remains of a Brooklyn man who had been missing since 1972. His sister giving a DNA swab 50 years after he vanished. Forensic scientist Jonathan Holley explained he works on the initial end of the mystery, cutting bone fragments from unidentified remains
with the intent to pulverize it and make it turn into a very fine powder.
The cylinder is put into a tank with liquid nitrogen. The unit told us there are 40,000 John and Jane Does buried in potter's fields across the nation, their DNA preserved in coroner's labs. We have covered more than 50 stories of families that are hoping for a positive outcome as they search for the missing. The results that come from science in the DNA databank may be painful, but they could finally offer answers. Mark Desire says this same lab has been making identifications on 9/11 victims for more than 20 years.
We have the experience and the technology that was born out of September 11th. 9/11 was the largest forensic investigation in the history of the United States.